here to the FBOE program. You know, it's a good vibe. You said you're coming back. What do you like most about that program?
I love that we are digging up history that either is unknown or doesn't want to be known. We often think of as a princess as someone who's self-centered, thinks they're better than other people, but I believe a princess is a person that is truly made to lead the people and keep their people safe, who works from a place of their heart. And I've always been a girl that has been like that. Am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Sure. But that doesn't make me a bad person. The unique I am, and knowing that there's only going to be one me in this eternity and never again. So why would I spend my time trying to be like other people? And of course there are going to be people in this world that make you feel like you're not good enough or you're too weird. I mean, I'm a 20-year-old carrying around a stuffed animal, but that's me.
Come on.
And I don't care. And that makes other people feel comfortable to be them.
Yeah.
That he was saying that you have to break those chains. You have to break those curses.
Yeah.
And the more I started doing it and just recording my day, I had to remind myself that every adventure is going to look a little different, because every day is different. There's no day that's the same. And so it made me realize that I shouldn't put pressure on myself to be perfect or to be that every day is going to be a good day, because some days it's not.
All right, here we go. Hey, I'm here with my cousin Alija, man. How you doing?
I'm here. I'm good. I'm in the moment.
Come on, in the moment, man. I like how you came out here to the FBOE program. You know, it's a good vibe. You said you're coming back. What do you like most about that program?
I love that we are digging up history that either is unknown or doesn't want to be known by other people.
Right. Legacy building. Do you feel like the FBOE program is like a culture you will want to just be a part of and continue to be a part of?
I think so. When I came for the first time, I felt very warm, very welcomed. It felt like home.
The energy was there.
It was there.
Well, it's nice to have you there. I see you rocking your leaf catcher. You know, shouts out to Roger M. Suggs. I see you rocking the bracelet. Man, I love it, man. So I want to go deep into this, man, because you are a woman full of character, excitement, spontaneous. You got your own personal style that I like, man. Very eccentric. I love it, man. You got to tell me, man, where do you get this unique style from? Like, it's so different. I like it, man. Explain to me, where do you get this sense of creativity and uniqueness from?
So to be honest, it's kind of just, I find them everywhere, whether it's on a movie, TV show, places I go, people I talk to. For instance, this necklace is off a movie called Castle in the Sky from a Japanese films that makes movies. And it's about a girl that was inherited a stone from the earth, and she was found out that she was the princess of a castle in the sky.
Wow.
And everybody's trying to attack her because they want the crystal because it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
But it only works for her because she is the true spirited princess of that kingdom, of the earth.
That's deep. That's really deep. So everybody wants the stone.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But it only works for her.
Right. Is it like they're not spiritually aligned with the stone, or do they? What motives do they have of just grasping it? Will it give them some type of power?
So it's a very powerful crystal. For the person who inherits it and who it is inherited to, it protects them. They say the spell, and the necklace protects them. Whether she fell out of the sky and it saved her from falling and hurting herself.
Yes.
And it protects her from those who are trying to go after her. Because there are many people in the movie, like the pirates, her distant cousin or uncle that is named Muska, who tries to take this necklace so he can be ruler of the kingdom.
Oh, wow. So it's a very prestigious necklace, to say the least.
Very.
How did that necklace resonate toward you? Because you got it on. I love it. Do you feel like that necklace is a sort of a protection to you?
I feel like it personally is. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always connected with princesses, Disney princesses, just any idea of it. And I've always been a person that questions, society's ways of thinking and perceptions.
Yeah.
And we often think of as a princess as someone who's self-centered, thinks they're better than other people, but I believe a princess is a person that is truly made to lead the people and keep their people safe, who works from a place of their heart. And I've always been a girl that has been like that. Am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Sure. But that doesn't make me a bad person.
Yes.
I am still genuine. There are some people that choose not to be genuine after they've been hurt. And for someone who has been born connected to the earth, it resonates with me more because I am someone who believes in taking care of the place that we come from. Because if we destroy it, we will no longer have what we have.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Just like you said, taking care of the place where you come from, right? And being able to connect to the earth, right? And not living in a perfection to the point where I have to be perfect. We do make mistakes, right? So it's realizing the character flaws, and also there's accountability there as well. So perfection doesn't even exist, right? When it comes to it. And
it's an illusion.
It's an illusion, man. And I'm glad you were able to distinguish. And I like your breakdown on the princess, right? Because society will tell you the princess is perfect. You gotta be this. But no, there are imperfections there that we have to learn to accept, and that's true power.
Very. Because you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable.
Yeah. What does money mean to you? Like, what is it? What does money? What's your perception of money?
Money to me is paper that's made from a tree. Personally, money is something that I can use to secure myself materialistically, but in a way to fulfill myself emotionally or to buy love, it just doesn't work for me.
Right.
Because I can go to the store and go buy a toy for myself, but it doesn't fulfill that emotional comfort like a person would.
Of course. I believe too many people are attached to the external world, the material aspects of the world, right? Rather than the spiritual alignment of the inner self, right? The inner work. And a lot of people are missing that inner work because they're trying to buy love with things, right? That's not really bringing them true peace, right? Nothing like an emotional connection from a human being, right? Face-to-face connection, the touch, the feel, the eye contact, the tone of voice. It's beautiful, and I believe that's where you create the memories from, and that's where true happiness comes from. The memories you create with other people. Money is a tool.
You can't take it with you when you die.
Yeah,
and that's something we're all meant to do.
Yeah, you can't bring a U-Haul to the funeral, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Understandable. I like it. So, with you being a free-spirited person and knowing that, right? Because people can get trapped in a rabbit hole of money and greed and scarcity, right? And I believe that leads people down a darker path. You being in spiritual alignment, I love that about your character, right? I love it. So, with that being said, you being highly spiritually aware, how has that made you happier, like, in your life, right? Because
it's made me realize how unique I am, and knowing that there's only going to be one me in this eternity and never again. So why would I spend my time trying to be like other people? And of course there are going to be people in this world that make you feel like you're not good enough or you're too weird. I mean, I'm a 20-year-old carrying around a stuffed animal, but that's me.
Come on.
And I don't care. And that makes other people feel comfortable to be them.
Yes.
Because what people call weird is actually very unique. People that aren't afraid to step out of that line of society's ways of looking at things.
Yeah, that's facts. I believe society just wants to put you in a box, and they're like, okay, stay in this box and do this, just like the other person, and be a robot. Right? Why do I need to follow the system when I can step outside the box and do my own thing? I like it. You remind me a lot of my dad. He had this same like style and this aura. He would dress like he wouldn't care. And he was in its own space, right? And he didn't need validation from the next person of how to dress or what to say. Or it was just a free spirit. And I definitely respect that about you because it's free, and there's no limits to that. It's freedom. I like it.
My zodiac sign is a Sagittarius, which is the freedom fighter.
Wow, that's crazy. That's my dad's zodiac sign.
Really?
Too. Yeah, that's why I mentioned that. I'm like, you remind me of when it's characteristics. I'm like, oh damn, she reminds me of my Uncle Jackie, Jackie Senior. So I guess the Sagittarius does have that uniqueness, style, and creativity.
Yes, they don't like to be tied down in any way. When I was like 3, my parents tried putting me in those like baby crates. I hated it. I would cry until they got me out.
Yeah.
I was climbing out of my crib before I was a year old.
Right.
And they were wondering, how the hell did she get out of there?
Man, just refuse to be chained down, right? Refuse to be just inside of a box. We're climbing out. That's Elijah. That's the Sagittarius. What date were you born on?
December 12th, 2004.
Man, I study a lot of numerology, right? So, if you, the 12 plus, in numerology, everything is added up by a single digit. So if you add, 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? So 3, if you look it up, that's the number of creativity. Mm-hmm. That is the number, that literally is the number of creativity. So the number 3 resonates with creation, right? Mm-hmm. You're creating your own space. You are the creator. So it does make sense, right? So wow, man, you gotta tell me about Elijah's adventures, because I see it all on Facebook. I like it, and it's really really good documentation and storytelling on your cell phone. I'm traveling with you there. It feels like I'm a part of the adventure. You gotta tell me, what was your creative mindset when you came up with that? And I love how consistent you are with it. I want to see more.
For a while, I've always had this dream of doing social media. When I started doing it, I was very nervous. I was very scared of what people would think. When I was little, I was very shy. I was the kind of kid that in the front of a crowd, I'd hide behind my parents and cover my eyes and face. I wouldn't talk to people I don't know. But as I've gotten older, I'm stepping out of that comfort zone. Kind of how Roger was saying before in FBOB. Did I say that right?
FBOE.
FBOE, I'm sorry. That he was saying that you have to break those chains. You have to break those curses.
Yeah. And
the more I started doing it and just recording my day, I had to remind myself that every adventure is going to look a little different, because every day is different. There's no day that's the same. And so it made me realize that I shouldn't put pressure on myself to be perfect or to be that every day is going to be a good day, because some days it's not.
Right.
And it's still beautiful. It's still a part of who I am. So it allows other people to feel safe to have a bad day. Because we're often told that we need to be happy all the time. And there are just some days where we're not.
That's facts. We're human, right?
Right.
We're human. I like the notion that every day is different, right? And every day there's an opportunity, there's a challenge, there could be adversity. We can face anything, right? It's just walking into that unknown and realizing that, okay, I'm here. Let me control this destiny the way I want to, right? I'm breathing, so there's opportunity every second we wake up. Whether it could be adversity, because I could learn from that. I kind of like adversity. I like challenges. I like being uncomfortable. I like you. I was nervous to do this, right? I was nervous to actually set my cameras up in different places. I used to do it all in my studio. right? So I had to kind of break away from that. So I believe the moment you keep doing the things that make you uncomfortable, that's the moment that you become even more comfortable of what you're doing, because you're taking small steps, small increments. And then every small step you make, you look back and like, wait, this wasn't so scary after all. And you gain confidence.
Right. Because true bravery is when you can still do something and be scared.
Yeah. True bravery is where you can still do something and be scared. I like that. That's deep. That's deep. Can you tell me a time where you have been scared, right? And where that bravery actually kicked in?
Let me think. I want to say coming here would be the most recent time where I felt nervous, because I was a part of a group that was kind of similar to this at the current college I go to, and it was good in some ways, but it didn't end as good, so I left it.
Yes.
And so coming here made me develop all these fears, like, is it going to be the same thing? Am I going to be looked at funny? And even though I was nervous and I still came, it felt great that I did it, because if I didn't come here, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I wouldn't have unlocked that door.
Yeah. That's facts. Like, you wouldn't have unlocked that door, and the door was locked at first, but you stepped out your comfort zone and just unlocked it. Now you're like in endless possibilities of what can happen in the future now.
Right.
Dang. That's deep. That's deep. I like that. And I like that you use coming here as an example, because this is out the norm. You know, we don't like, I normally don't see her like that in Kansas or, here, so this opens you up to a whole nother outlet of creative individuals. Like, there's so many creative people in the FBOE and so much support, so many things we're doing. And, the fact that you're my cousin in general, man, it's just, man, you're going to bring that creativity more to it. I believe you're going to add more to this mentorship program. You're going to be an asset with everything you possess. Even you were like giving people 4-leaf clovers, right? And the speaker, I was talking to him as you walked away. He was just looking at it, and it's like he almost started to cry. It really touched him. That you did that, right? You gave him something of luck and enlightenment, man. Like, you even have it like as your earring, the 4-leaf clover. You gotta tell me, like, what is that? What is that symbolic representation of the 4-leaf clover mean to you?
Luck to me means that good things are coming your way. You are opening yourself to new opportunities. You are in good health. You will be led to things that can help you. This year is when I first started really finding 4-leaf clovers in my life. And ever since I was little, I've always been allergic to cats. Not as bad as most do, but where I would touch my face and I'd break out. But this year, when I started finding the clovers, I got my very first cat. And I never thought in a million years I would ever have a cat.
Yeah.
And I love her. I call her my rainbow cat, the cat that I never thought I would have.
That's dope. That's dope. When you're laying next to that cat and you're holding that cat in your arms and, you feel this connection with the cat, like, how does that make you feel?
It feels like a dream every time. I know she gets tired of my hugs and squeezes and everything else, but she is loved. She is spoiled. She will always be loved.
I like it. Coming from a grandma, right? I'm Marquita. She's my auntie. She's your grandma. Person that loves animals. A person that's just highly spiritual. Like, what type of traits do you see in your grandma? That you see in yourself right now? Is there anything that you picked up, that you see in my Aunt Marquita, your grandma, and you?
Her intelligence, for sure. She's very, very smart.
That's facts.
Her wisdom, for sure. We both love to read. We both are very naturistic people. We love to be outside.
Yeah.
We're both cat people too. We're both people that can be perceived as very like extroverted and social, but we're both very introverted. And I think introverts can be misunderstood easily because you automatically think, oh, they don't like to be around people, and that doesn't always mean that, because I like to meet new people and interact with people and go out with people, but I also like my space.
Yeah, facts.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There could be introverts that can do that.
Right. I feel that. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm an introvert, right? Even though you might see my Facebook and social media and all, and you probably think the total opposite. But in reality, I really like staying at home. I like reading. I like, reading about different things about business and figuring out ways how to help my clients more, generate more money, of course. And I just like being by myself sometimes, you know. Kind of tough for me to have a girlfriend sometimes, but it's like, damn, I'm always up under her, you know. I gotta do me time, you know what I'm saying? So that's the difficult thing, but it's all about a balance. But I'm more of an introvert, but a lot of people don't even realize that because I'm so crazy. But I'm like with you and my auntie, I'm introverted, you know. I like just being by myself and sitting in the stillness, and it's the best time. You gotta tell me, we're going into the seasons, right? Coming close to your birthday, right?
Right.
Man.
21.
21. Wow. Man. Okay, that's a milestone. I'm not gonna lie, that is a milestone. 21 years in it. You gotta explain to me, man, your journey to 21, man. Let's start at 5 years old, then we're gonna go to 10 years old, then we're gonna go to 15 years old, then 20-year-old. 5-year-old Elijah, 2 minutes. What was 5-year-old Elijah like?
Didn't want to go to school. I loved being free at home, being able to wake up when I want, go to bed, and I was so nervous about school because I didn't want to be trapped into a school in a building.
Yeah.
In fact, my first day of school, she gave my parents a letter saying that she didn't listen to do what she was supposed to do, and they say that's natural because I was just a kid that didn't like to be tied down.
Just like now, you don't want to be in a box.
Nope.
I love it. What was 10-year-old Elijah like?
10-year-old me became more quiet, became more to herself. I went through a lot of hardships around that time, or started to, so I became more isolated.
Yes.
I think being a American Indian, African American woman who grew up in a very white area was hard.
Yeah.
Because you were constantly judged, even down to teachers. Like, I had my 5th grade teacher around when I was 10, made me feel like I was mentally slow because of who I was.
Yes.
And put me in special need classes and had my parents put me on medication to help with my mental state. And I remember one morning I broke down because I thought there was something wrong with me. And my mom had to tell me there's nothing wrong with you, so they took me off the meds.
Yes.
And I felt better.
I love it. You know, me and you almost live parallel lives because they did the same thing with me, right? And luckily my mom took me off the meds when I was younger, like your age. And, you know, people like us can be easily misunderstood, right? Because, like, we don't like to live in a box, right?
Right.
We're so different. And when you're different, people are like, oh, wait a minute, there's something wrong with you. I was in special needs too, right? You know, I have a learning disability. So I was in special needs too, had the meds and whatnot. And luckily our parents realized there's nothing wrong, just unique, just creative. This is who they are.
Right.
What was the 15-year-old Elijah like?
Very insecure. I became very isolated. I didn't have any friends. I walked into high school alone, and I walked out alone. It was a time when I started realizing that I was very different and that I was not meant to fit in with everybody else.
Acceptance.
Right.
When you found that acceptance, you walked in alone, walked out alone. When you accepted that, did you feel like that set you free, or did you feel like a weight was lifted off your shoulders? What was that like going through high school in that point in time?
It made me kind of like grumpy, and not like a mean person, but just I used to think, why me? Why do I gotta go through this? Why is it that, friends that I never work out, nobody ever asked me on a date, nobody would ever have a crush on me, and if they did, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it didn't lift off my chest until I graduated, because I was free. I was not in that society's high school, because I wasn't that girl that was involved or anything like that. I didn't do any of that. And I thought, man, it's too late, because everyone says high school are your best years of your life. I don't agree with that at all. I didn't become happy until I left it. And I don't miss it. It's been 2 years since I've been in high school, and I don't think about it. I don't miss it.
God.
I feel like actually I could be me. And I actually found myself and connected with myself and loved myself more after that.
That's a fact, man. We have the same story. We literally have the same story. Like literally the same story. High school, quiet, cousins Eric, Garvin, Jason. I had all these girlfriends, right? Mm-hmm. I was the outcast. I had nobody. I was quiet. Everybody thought I was weird, and I'm like, damn. I feel like I was living in their shadow. The only thing that really saved me was my auntie Kayla. She got me this weight set, and I was able to take my frustration out on the weights and whatnot. And then, like you, I made a vow to myself when I graduated high school, because I took a picture in high school and I graduated and I didn't look happy. I was standing next to the principal. I didn't look happy. So I gave a vow to myself, like, okay, when I get out of high school, I'm going to let people know me for who I am. I'm going to be free, So the chains came off, and it's like when you get out of high school, it's like, man, it's like a breath of fresh air, because there's no extra pressure. It's like, okay, I could be me,
Yeah.
And it's that acceptance. So I love that story, right? Because it's parallel to the exact same thing I went through. And it's like when you learn to detach and let go from the outcome, mm-hmm. That's when you become free. So it's actually both of us detaching from that outcome of high school, leaving it behind where it belongs, right?
Right.
I don't think about high school at all.
Or as my grandma Marquita says, it's okay to visit, but never bring anything back from there. Leave it exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Ain't that the facts, right? So, I love that mindset. 20 years old now, right? You have a sense of identity, freedom. You're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? You're on this interview. Man, how do you feel at this very moment?
I feel it's bittersweet, because I'm no longer that little girl. I mean, she'll always be with me. It's a part of who I am, but I'm no longer in that time and era. And I'm about to step into a full adulthood where I can walk into a bar or walk into a casino, and I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's sad because I'm letting go of that, what I've always known, which was my childhood.
Yeah. The inner child.
Yeah.
The inner child. It's all good. There's a lot, thing is, you never want to let go of that inner child. Still keep it in you, because that's where the creativity lies, and that's where the imagination lives. And years ago, like 3 years ago, I kind of have a nervous breakdown. I then went through a relationship breakup, and it really got me into studying metaphysics and the inner child, and all this type of spiritual work. I had to do the shadow work, and I had to do some studying about the inner child. And my inner child was locked up for a while, because of past traumas, teachers, parents, and I had to do the studying. And I learned that once you know what the inner child is, once you still become that child, we're still children in the long run. We're just in adults' bodies,
Right.
So we still want to keep that creative imagination. That's why I like this, what you got on. I respect it. I love it, because we're all big kids. And when we reach adulthood, society says we can't be a child no more, right?
It's like they say you're not supposed to imagine anymore, but you're still
man.
that same person that you were born as,
Yeah.
and you're just older physically.
Yeah.
But spiritually, that's always there, and it will always be there.
Yes.
And I refuse to let her go.
I like that. See, and that's where you're gonna excel at, because creativity comes from the eye imagination, right? I say the eye imagination because the imagination is in our eyes. The eyes are the windows of the soul, right? So when we can see the eye imagination, we can see our soul. And the soul is the inner child that just wants to have fun and do the things that you love, right? Sometimes it's not meant for us to just work a 9 to 5 all day long and not have anything, come on and watch TV and do nothing. No, life is so much more, right?
Right.
And that's why when I see you doing these Elijah adventures, I see you out and about, your own creativity, I'm like, okay, this is you. You're doing what you love, right? Mm-hmm. Man, what is the future for you when it comes to all of this? Because I like it.
To one day live within the riches of the universe, being able to be truly free from society's ways, like for instance, living where I don't have to stress over bills, because stress actually kills years off your life.
That's a fact.
And so if you find ways to deal with that in a way that's healthier for you, you can live longer.
Yeah, come on.
And the things that they tell us that actually benefit us, they actually don't.
They don't.
And it actually shortens your life, because they don't want you to find out, because then they can't control you.
Exactly. They don't want you to find out about the universal laws, right? Mm-mm. They don't want you to find out about, eternal healing, spiritual awareness. They don't want any of that.
They want to make you feel crazy. That's why people used to burn witches, because they thought, they didn't want them to be in tune with themselves.
Exactly. In tune with the inner self, right? So,
because the true monsters were them.
Yeah, that's facts. The true monster is the fear, right? The fear that they fail to recognize within themselves. People aren't willing to face themselves, right? So they rather just fear it and run away from it
and project it on other people.
Yeah.
And make you feel like you're the problem.
Yeah, it's a projection. So it's almost like you have to have that level of self-awareness to know who you truly are, so you don't get manipulated and controlled by the masses. Because there's a lot of people that will bring you down simply because they don't like your shine, right?
Because it makes your light shines on parts of them that they don't even want to see for themselves.
Yeah, facts. We're nothing but a mirror reflection of each other. So when you're shining and that person's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, let me project, it's like, for us, that's where the empathy comes in, because we already know what they're doing. There's always a level of awareness, so we don't even have to react because we understand it. It's like, oh, okay, I understand. This is more likely a trauma response. They're seeing a light in me that they're not seeing in themselves. Okay, let me show some empathy. Let me understand this person, rather than go into survival mode and just react. Like, what the fuck? So.
And it's funny, Sagittarius too are reflectors, because whatever energy people throw at me, I just reflect it right back.
Oh,
I've had some people get irritated with me because it just shows them what they showed me.
Yeah, I like it. Just the mirror effect. You're basically just holding up a mirror, and this is you. This is you. And now they're looking at themselves. The Sagittarius is a reflector. That's deep. What parts do you like most about the Sagittarius zodiac sign?
They're they're the fire sign. They love to shine bright. They love to how do I say that? They love to express themselves strongly.
Yeah.
Like when they walk in a room, you notice them. And not because they're trying to impress people, that's just who they are.
Yeah.
And they know their worth. They don't go looking for it in other people.
Right. They already know. The fire is already in their eyes. They already know they're driven with a purpose. No need for validation, right? They already know. It's just in them. That's deep. That's deep. Like I said, you remind me a lot like my dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, same way. So I admire that about the Sagittarius, right? Very like powerful, driven people, like really powerful. And like you were saying before, when you know yourself, nobody can really take you out that character, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody can project anything. So what do you think people have to do to, like, if you were to give me some steps right now, you know, of just what do people got to do to get out of projection, right? What do people got to do to kind of heal from that mindset, that way of thinking of just, you know, just being a part of the system and being trapped in it? What do they got to do to truly be free in your eyes?
For me, like when I've been projected on, I had to learn the non-reaction technique. Not to respond, do not spark the fire that they want you to start, because they want you to react, they want you to get mad. And I'm not saying it ain't hard, because it's easy to do it, especially if they know how to piss you off. But when you learn how to not respond and just let people do them and not even engage, it doesn't bother you. Now it'll bother them, but that's not your problem.
I like it. You know, we got to go to Albert Einstein's law of energy. Energy cannot be destroyed or created, but only transmuted, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not giving that energy back to them, it's just hitting this wall, right? There's nothing for it to bounce off of. So I did some studying on narcissism, and they call those type of people energy vampires. They only exist to rob your energy. So you have a highlight, a high frequency. So energy, like me, people like me, you attract energy vampires, right? And their only sole purpose is
to teach you.
Yeah, exactly. To teach you. Like, elaborate for me. Continue.
And the scariest thing too is that some of them can come off as the nicest people. You wouldn't think, but they're the same people that would turn on you in a heartbeat.
Facts. Why is that nice? Like facade, a cover-up, like is that the perfect cover-up for an energy vampire being a nice person?
Yeah, because they don't want to be seen as somebody that's who they truly are, because then they have to face that part of themselves. So if they perceive themselves as somebody that never fucks up, that never messes up, they people will never find out, but only people who are aware can truly see through that.
They can see it.
And as a fire sign, I am able to burn people's mask off, and that pisses people off too.
Man, we talked about that in a recent podcast, how most people wear masks. And I was reading this book, and it's called The 19 Masks People Wear. There's about 19 of them, right? You know, human psychology wise. So people do wear that mask, and you being that Sagittarius, being able to just burn that mask off really quick. Most people get their mask away. I had to learn about, when I was studying psychology like 3 years ago, I had to learn a lot about micro expressions. And you can tell if somebody's genuine there for you by just testing a person, by telling them some good news. And you automatically pay attention to that micro expression. If they're happy, excited, you know, okay, this person genuine with their intention. But if you tell them some good news and they're sitting there and they're just like, they're looking, you know, and then later on they smile, it's a microsecond, you gotta catch it. That's how you know. And 80% of communication is nonverbal, so I can definitely tell.
And some are passive aggressive with it too. Like I noticed on social media, when you grow on social media, when you start getting more followers, start getting more likes, and they stop liking your stuff, that's another sign too. And sometimes it can be the closest people, the people you would least expect, even down to family.
Come on, preach.
And it hurts, because you're like, dang, these are the people, you know, that you're close to. But sometimes they can be the ones that you would least expect.
Oh, dude, the family members are the worst, right? And I don't blame family members for isolating themselves, right? from other family members. Then this could be all over the world, right? And family and friends. Because these people are a bunch of energy vampires, and they would use that word family to bring you down to the very ground.
Almost like a guilt trip.
Yeah.
Emotional guilt trip.
Yeah. That is a fact. Emotional guilt trip, right?
It brings back to Castle in the Sky. Even though those two, Muska and Sheeta, the princess, was related, he wasn't good. He was willing to kill her over this necklace.
Damn, that's deep. And we will put that aspect in the same analogy of family right there. Mm-hmm. That's deep. Damn. I like that. Just being aware of that. The people closest to you, you heard it yourself, will betray you, right? Understandable. Wow. We got to talk about strangers, right? I've been in the business for a long time, and I have got a lot of support just from strangers, just put myself out there in general. And that's just being scared too. You don't know these people, mm-hmm. but these people are strangers, and it's like, oh shit, wait a minute, okay. I like it. They're not as biased as some family or close friends can be, so a lot of people I talk to, especially entrepreneurs, they say they get support a lot more than from just strangers, people they don't even know. Like, how do you feel about that aspect?
I think in a world especially where there's a lot of hate, if you assume that everybody that you come across is going to be fucked up or mean, then you're not really helping anything.
Yes.
But if you're willing to give people that chance to be kind to you, then you open up that door to a more peaceful world. Now, it's true, not everybody's your friend, not everybody has good intentions just because they're nice, but there are people genuinely that care. For instance, when I go on nature walks, sometimes I'll be on the ground looking for clovers, and I have many people drive by or walk by, and they're like, are you okay? Or is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, thank you, okay, wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I like that. Because what if I did fall out? What if I did, something happened? They would be there, and I don't know them, they don't know me, but they care.
Yes. I like that. That's a consideration. A sense of consideration, a sense of concern. That's always beautiful. Because there's a lot of people out here that really feel invisible to a certain extent, and that's a trauma in itself. Like, so just somebody taking that consideration, you okay, checking, just acknowledging, right? So I believe that's a beautiful thing, right? We can't live in a scarcity mindset because, like you said at the beginning of this podcast, we're all gonna get hurt, right? Nobody's perfect, right? It's just, just going out there and just taking a risk, man, and just doing what you love, doing what you love, of course, right? When you love something, do it. When you love something, you're never gonna work a day in your life, and it's really freedom. So with that being said, it's just like it's a beautiful feeling, a holistic feeling, just being creative and just going out there and doing you without anything, any validation, nothing. I believe that's true freedom.
Yeah. Not being trapped by other people's perceptions of you, because people are going to think what they think regardless of what you say and do.
Right.
And if you spend your time trying to control that person's thoughts, you're wasting your own life. And you only get one shot at this specific life.
One shot, dude. I believe people, like, they die with their gift still inside them, right? There's a gift that God has gave everyone in their life, and they're just letting it die, Mm-hmm. First of all, like we talked about before, they're not recognizing that inner child that wants to bring that gift out, right?
Right.
They're blocking it with adulthood, bills, relationship trauma, or whatever it is that's blocking it. Block chakras, to say this thing, right? Most people's chakras are definitely blocked. And with that being said, like, there's a blockage, right? And it's like, dude, like, your gift is dying, dude. It's dying in you. And you're walking around already dead.
Right.
Go to work, go home, go to sleep. and you don't live your dream.
I was telling my grandmother Marquita one day
Jesus.
that it's really hard being awake in a world that's asleep.
Damn, that's deep.
I'm serious. It's like
That's deep.
People want to make you feel like you're too much or you're too fiery, and you're meaning no harm, but people are just asleep, and people who are asleep are not used to that because they're not awake.
Yeah. Dream like walking zombies, and you're looking like, oh shit, it's almost like living in a different dimension. Like,
and I believe, me and my grandmother too always said, and I agree with this strongly, what you don't deal with in this lifetime, it'll keep happening until you deal with it in your next lifetime.
yes, no, that is a fact.
Until you break it.
Until you break the cycle. It's a loop. That's all it is. Life is a loop. You're gonna keep suffering the same thing, same consequences until you break that loop. And for most, that is extremely hard to do. Because like you said before, they don't want to face that mirror of their self-reflection. The shadow. They don't want to do the shadow work. That's just tough. I mean, I had to do it, and it's very difficult to do. But once you do it, there becomes a level of acceptance of knowing your flaws, right? Knowing your triggers, knowing that you do have these character traits. This is a part of you, but it's acceptance rather than running from it and pushing it down in the basement, pushing the monster down in the basement. You actually accept the monster and you give that monster a hug. You're like, hey, it's okay. I accept you. Come on, we walking together. Then that's when you integrated the shadow within you. Yeah. I do a lot of shadow work. I'm still going now. You know, I ain't the best, I ain't the worst. But there'll be many more conversations, man. Like from me and Elijah. What do you think about this combo?
I love it. This is a great way to express these parts of me that I've never gotten to talk about. And so I really love this opportunity to express these things.
Right. There will be more. Right now it's freestyle, but I'll have to do some market research on your Facebook and come up with questions that I can ask you directly that directly correlates to what you're doing. And I want to go deeper. Right now it's just a freestyle conversation, spontaneous, which are the best conversations because it's a flow conversation that's coming directly from spirit. So I can definitely dig that. It's definitely been a pleasure having you, and there'll be more, like really, because like I said, I want to do one at the plaza with you where I'm actually traveling on these adventures with you, and I want to experience it because I see it on Facebook and it's like, okay, can I experience that? And I would like to bring other people to experience it. With me. Like you start your own academy with this. It's beautiful. Are there any closing statements you would like to add to anybody watching this video? I want you to talk directly to your audience right here.
Always be true to yourself and never be trapped by other people's perceptions on how the world works. Because the people who tell you that are not always telling the truth.